Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Simon at Wandering DM. This is our channel, and tonight we are playing Dragon Age, the game by Green Ronin Publishing. Before we begin, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors for this evening, including Green Ronin, who are sponsors of this game, as well as Magen Press, makers of D&D 5th edition supplements. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com. Use code WanderingDM to get 15% off. Uh, that was about to give more than I'm allowed to. Uh, Next up, I would like to thank Found Familiar, the coffee company. If you want some good coffee while you are stuck at home, check out foundfamiliar.com and use code WanderingDM to get 10% off. And if you live in the continental United States, you get free shipping if you order for $50 or more. Last but certainly not least is our partners through the Diceomancy program. Check out Level Up Dice if you want to get some shiny new dice made out of metal, stone, or semi-precious stone. You can click the link in chat right now or click on the purple torch down below. Every click helps, and as we gain level in the Diceomancy program, we are giving away basically all the sets that we are given, like the Chip Hematite set that we gave away during one of our streams a couple of weeks ago. I would also, you've all seen the intro, it wasn't there last time, we got it, I finished making it today, but I would like to thank Flying Serious, Shauna, who is the artist that did all of the art for our portraits. You can find her at Flying Serious on Twitter. I think in our roleplay tab down below, I've added her social, but otherwise, let me just grab it real quick and I'll put it in chat. And yep. There we go. At Flying Serious. Can't hardly pronounce it, but hey, anyway. Tonight I'm playing Harold. I am playing an elf Grey Warden who, since last time, is starting to be a bit disillusioned by the whole Grey Warden thing. Maybe because every one of them are liars and frauds. So, that's me. Let's go around the table, tell us who you are playing tonight. We'll do clockwise, so that way we'll finish with our illustrious GM, Tanya, so that she can take us away into the world of Thetis. So right beneath me on the overlay is Deirdre. Hello.
Hey y'all, welcome back. I love this. I can't wait to see what happens next and all of the drama that will unfold. I'm placing bets on certain things. It'll be great. As for me, I'm playing Verisa, one of the two Dalish elves in the party, and I get to shoot things with the bow. It's fun.
Um,
Hmm?
oh, was I not muted?
Well,
Chat says we're really quiet.
chat says we're really quiet.
I can be
What?
louder, Pope. I'll be louder then.
No, that's okay. It's the,
Also, Godless Lawyer is very thankful we didn't change the stream title.
It's okay.
Oh.
This is why I love this game.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I can't remember the last time I started a stream on my channel and I didn't forget to or didn't remember to unmute myself. So you do them fine. They can hear us a little.
Yes, I believe that next up is Bestian.
yes. Next up is Andrew.
Yes. Hi. I'm I'm playing a Ferelden warrior and named Bestia, and just kind of looking forward to see what's going to happen today. We've got a few things I'm thinking of, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, moving on to the other side of the overlay, we are going to talk to Kelly. Is she frozen?
She's frozen.
So
Kelly's frozen.
we can toss it
Ellie.
up to me, and she'll be back
Well,
shortly,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Where
Oh
you?
no, Kelly.
Give her a moment. Oh, Kelly. At least she was.
Hello?
Oh, she's back.
Yay.
Yeah, don't get me started. I don't know why my hardwired connection keeps giving out, but the Wi-Fi is fine. Anyway, hi. I'm Kelly,
Hi.
aka the person who sometimes forgets to mute herself and sometimes forgets to unmute herself. And I am playing Mavia, the dwarf bard who absolutely is supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. I am Eugenio. Tonight I am playing Zalanis, a Dalish elf mage who apparently is a member of the same clan as Varisa, and apparently they've been through something, are thrilled to see each other, and now neither is entirely sure how to act around the other or around anyone else for that matter. So we shall see how that goes.
Oh dear. This is gonna be so interesting.
Indeed.
And I'm your DM, Tanya, aka the Warden Commander, who's going to lead them through all of these shenanigans for the next few weeks.
Shenanigans!
Yes, all the shenanigans. And speaking of shenanigans, it has been a couple weeks since our first episode. So if the cast does not mind, do you want to give a quick recap of either what you did or your characters did or something else you think the audience should know before we get into session 2?
We can recap what each of our characters did, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Take like a minute or so. Harold got the invitation from the summons from the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor went to Skyhold. There, decided to go drink at a tavern and exchange pleasantries and tales with the other patrons. There, he learned that the person who made him into a Grey Warden, person by the name of I don't remember his name.
What? Which
Logan,
name?
not Logan.
Logain.
Logain.
Logain MacTir.
Yeah. That
Rogaine?
Logain was in fact not the cool guy dude that I met, but in fact a war criminal, nothing less. Well, that my Grey Warden ego took a blow at that moment. Then later on, I met with the Inquisitor, who's none other than my friend from the past, Fenris, who I hadn't seen in ages and who I always held in the highest of esteem. That was a thing, and he promised to talk to me and even introduce me to the other Grey Warden here, because apparently there's another Grey Warden, but I couldn't feel it. So we're gonna meet this other Grey Warden this morning. That's all for me.
Marisa, what did you get up to?
Well, I discovered that the keeper of my clan is not dead, which is a good thing.
He's not
Yeah.
dead yet.
He's not dead yet, and that means that not everyone is dead, which is also a good thing. Which meant I now have to change from just murdering a whole bunch of people to keeping people alive. It is a minor shift in priorities, but there's still a lot of killing involved. Met some interesting folks. Fenris was a interesting inquisitor. Elf, kind of nice. Appreciated him. Not sure I like this fellow Cullen and his glaring at my keeper, who I probably have to stab at some point. Was starting to like this other elf, but he's a warden, and apparently he likes this other Cullen fellow, and the glaring at the mages was upsetting. So
Oh,
and I
dear.
did appreciate this small dwarf who hid very well. I still found her, but she hid very well from a very large
Talvashoth.
God, I can't remember. Iron Bull is a
Kunari?
Gunari. Thank you.
Yes.
I was like, I can't remember. And I believe that's where we left, with me slightly panicking about trying to keep people alive and kill a bunch of people, and then figuring out what the hell is going to happen next. I have no clue.
That's
I
okay.
feel like we already are like the Always Sunny people with the red string and the board already behind us.
It's only been one episode. Good
I
God.
know.
No.
I know. Well, I am the keeper of said clan that Arisa was talking about, and I was equally surprised to see her not only alive, but also having been summoned by the Inquisitor. Zalanis sort of presented as a real stuff shirt for the better part of our session, just because he doesn't know what. Can we curse here? Can we F-bomb here? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's age gated.
Okay, great. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on or what to do. Having just inherited a keeper position, rather involuntarily, trying to keep that tradition alive, also being summoned by the Inquisitor. But when he found out it was an elf, and Fenris told him to, how did he so eloquently put it? Stop with all this
Formality bullshit.
Formality bullshit. Yes, that's what it was. It was sort of like this big old relief, because maybe I don't have to be that kind of keeper. Other than that, it was just sort of an overwhelming session, I think, for Zalanis, getting this assignment, being in Skyhold, finding family and maybe some new friends. We'll see how it all goes.
And our dwarf, and Bastien, because you both have been quiet.
Oh, do you want to go first, Andrew?
I'm flexible. You can really.
I honestly.
Ladies.
And that
ladies.
was their first episode.
Yes, basically.
So yes, Mavia didn't actually accomplish much, except possibly confusing people when she didn't know who the Inquisitor was, and she called the ambassador Ambassador Amontillado, and she didn't know who Beric Tetris was. Sorry about that. But basically, so far her companions don't seem to realize that she's a little possibly out of her depth, but it seems like the ambassador might have a clue. And when we left off, the Iron Bull had almost thrown her out a window, and she was still requesting a step ladder to get into the very high bed that had been provided for her. And then she hid under a table. In case anybody in chat didn't see episode 1, I've never actually played Dragon Age, so it's pretty funny, because I literally have no idea who these people are, so my reactions are genuine. Great.
Yeah.
Gonna die.
Nah, not yet anyway.
So Bastien arrived at the keep. He received a summons, arrived at the keep, met Mavia as the kind of like the first person that he came across. There was some idle banter, and long journey, quite hungry, ended up in the mess hall, called one of the staff a wench, I believe. It might not have come out that way, but that kind of thing happened. Not used to courtly graces, and was relatively small spoken for most of episode 1. Met with everybody later in the when we met the Inquisitor. Was quite impressed with the sword, and we last left it off. He was requesting a meeting with Cullen, which should be happening sometime this episode.
Yes. Speaking of things happening this episode, we're now going to pick up the next day after everyone arrived. You all were given rooms. Maybe eventually got her step stool and got in this very tall bed. Although I have just like this image of like little kicky feet
Yeah.
and her trying to get in this
If you've
bed.
ever seen like a small dog try to get up on the bed and the butt just hangs off and the feet go like this. Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe I did not need the privy until this morning. Otherwise, it was going to be a very interesting night for her. So Fenris, being who he is always an early riser. And while he's getting ready and wondering if he needs to send for Harold or if he should go look for Harold, we're going to actually start with Bastian and Cullen having a breakfast meeting over a game of chess, because that's what Cullen normally does with Dorian, but Dorian is off somewhere doing someone's bidding because sneaky to Vintermage. If we could have the chessboard map up while we do this, that'd be great.
Is it a map on Roll20?
It is. It is there.
I just realized that I have... wait, where is it? Throne room, quarters, Herald's Rest?
It is not there. Never mind. I thought I uploaded it.
Oh.
Good job, Misa. Never mind.
Okay.
Your DM did not get that one map in. I found it. It just wasn't there. But for those of you that have played Dragon Age, there is a lovely outdoor chess table that Dorian and Cullen often play chess at. And what I'm going to do is also just try to send a file while we chat. Oh, that's not it. Haha. So the setting is Bastian is up early. You found Cullen per his note that you found slipped under your door. And there is a table spread with breakfast food, including coffee, because hey, why not? It's the Inquisition. And he is pondering the chessboard when he hears you come up and motions for you to sit across from him. Bastian, what do you do?
So Bastian is going to walk up to the table and sitting down, he's gonna say, "Good morning, Cullen. Thank you for meeting with me."
Oh, no problem. It's rare that I get to talk to another warrior such as yourself. At least here, because a lot of the men, they take rank into consideration. They don't really want to just hang out with me. So a quiet morning talking to someone who clearly has some questions for me isn't a bad way to start the day before we get on the road.
There's some things that I've been wanting to ask someone, and there's very few people I find I can ask this. But do you play? And Bastian just points at the chessboard.
Yes, our Tevinter compatriot often challenges or cheats depending on who you're asking and what time of day it is, but we've been known to go a few rounds.
Would you like to start a round?
Of course, but make sure that you get food first.
Of course. So Bastian is just gonna grab a plate and scoop some food on, pour a generous mug of coffee, and take his seat again. Take a bite. So, Cullen, as you may or may not know, I was trained by the Templar, and there's this question of lyrium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I'm struggling with. I feel the pull of delirium. I feel the craving for it, and as you know, if you're not a Templar, acquiring lyrium is not a simple task, and I just don't know what to do.
So, Cullen, as you're talking, you notice he pauses as he's about to play a piece, and he's quiet as he listens to you, and he glances at you before moving a pawn. I can tell you that you should leave lyrium alone if you are not beholden to it. have you taken full Templar training? Why do you feel the need for lyrium?
Well, it was started, but I'm not sure where I stand with delirium. I'm not sure if I should proceed or if I should leave things and not engage.
He taps his fingers on the board as he listens to you. And he just gives you this stare that's, you know, when someone's seen some shit. He gives you that stare. He's like, don't. I've spent my time with the Inquisition getting off of lyrium. It's terrible once the Order gets you hooked on it. There's no real going back without a lot of sacrifice. Unless you plan to devote yourself to the Order after this mission, I can't advise you to do that. The sweats, the withdrawal, the pain, should you change your path, not worth it. If you've already changed yourself to it, if you already feel the cravings and the hunger to the point that you can't function, to where it keeps you up at night, we can see about getting you supplied. But if you're not at that point, I would not tell anyone to do this to themselves. And I know I say this as someone who gave his life to the Order very young and very early. But the things that I've done, the wrong that I've done, the sacrifices I've made, I would not wish this upon anyone else. So if you can free yourself of it, stay free. Don't do what I did or many others.
I appreciate that. It's definitely given me perspective on what it would mean to go down that road. Are there not benefits to it? Is there not a point?
He kind of taps the pawn that he's moved and waits for you to take a move as he ponders how to respond. He's like, if you are willing to dedicate yourself to the Maker and to the Order, to keeping mages in check that misuse their powers, then yes. But only if you're ready to give things up to be part of that Order. With everything in disarray, with the war going on, there's not even a way to formally train you right now except in the field. Recruits that haven't even passed proper training or done anything to know the way of the Templar are out there taking lyrium daily, not knowing if they can get off of this by the time the war is done, or if they'll even survive the war, if they'll come across a mage that is more seasoned than them. If you're willing to dedicate yourself and can get proper training, I'll write you a letter of recommendation, but I can't consign you to that during this war.
Bastian is gonna move one of the knights on the board, kind of haphazardly, because he's more in thought than anything else.
All right. While Bastian is deep in thought, we're going to take a little detour to a certain elf that is very interested in everything that Cullen does and says. Who, because of the depth of your conversation and how into paying attention to what Cullen is saying, Bastian would not hear her. Cullen may or may not, but he's been thrown into some dark memories by this conversation. So while you two are pondering your moves, literally and figuratively, Verisa, give me a stealth check or whatever it is you think you would need to overhear them.
I think it would be stealth, and I think what she did was she's an early riser. It kind of comes with her job, and so I
Mhm.
think she probably would have left out one of the windows, whatever window, because of rooms they are in the hall, and she knows where Cullen's office is because it's kind of obvious.
Mhm.
Probably would have spent a little bit of time walking across from the balconies across to along the palisade and maybe just kind of leaning over to hear
Okay.
what's going on.
All
So
right.
stealth.
All right. Let's give me stealth, and it would help if I pulled
That
up
would
a character sheet.
be a 15, or excuse me, 18, and 5 is 23.
You are the stealthiest elf that has ever elfed. You out stealth Zevran this morning. Apparently, he slept in and doesn't know you're outside. Yeah, so they are continuing their conversation. Do you just want to eavesdrop, or are you going to approach them
I think
at any point?
I think at this point she's not, she wants to get a lay of who Cullen is aside from man whose stories talk about killing lots and lots of mages and was less than pleasant earlier. And so she's just wants to see if he's like just a general threat or a targeted threat.
Okay.
To people, is like, are we in active danger, or is he just, being Cullen?
Okay.
And so
All
I
right.
don't think she's gonna interrupt at this point.
Okay, so you're basically just being very, very stealthy.
Yeah.
All right, so you're so stealthy, no one's going to run across you at this point, even this time of day. So to go back to Bastien and Cullen, what Cullen has said is struck a nerve, apparently, Bastien. What are you doing?
Bastien is gonna look at Cullen and just go on to say, Cullen, I'm seeking someone. I have to find, and I thought that maybe it would help if I took delirium and if I completed the training. Does it not help you find the mages or those who are capable of being mages?
You can track a magic user by their spells, but I'm not sure if you found this out while you were in training, but Templars track mages through phylacteries. Yes, it is a form of blood magic. I've come to realize that after a few years away from the order. But that is the way that we track mages. It's not simply knowing that there's magic around, because there's ambient magic everywhere. It's being able to focus.
What if there is no phylactery?
If there's no phylactery, you would track them like any other missing person. If they've been in a circle, there may be a phylactery somewhere, but if they've never been taken to a circle, never were harrowed, then your chance of finding them is as good as anyone else that you hire someone to find them.
I see.
Unfortunately, it's not as simple as just becoming a Templar and tracking mages. There's years and years of training. It's not what you might think during wartime. But if this person is a mage and they've ever been in a circle, we can send word out and see if there's a phylactery, and we can go from there.
Oh, I know they haven't been in a circle, and I think that's where the difficulty arises. I don't even know if they're mage born, but needless. Thank you for sitting and speaking with me. This has greatly helped with what I need to do once I complete what it is we're here to actually do.
All right. Well, you don't have to run off. We can still sit like civilized men and have breakfast and play a game of chess, since Dorian apparently wasn't enough of an early riser to join me this morning.
I would love to continue our game, and Bastion is just gonna kind of be a little more interested, a little more upbeat, and just focus on the chessboard. Make small talk with Cullen.
All right. So while you two enjoy your game, we're going to go to Harold and Fenris. Harold, did you go seek out the Lord Inquisitor, or would he have to send for you to come see him?
I think Harold would have gotten up in the morning with the intention of seeking Fenris out, and then just realizing halfway through to his quarters that, oh wait, he's the Lord Inquisitor. I don't know what to do. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, etc., etc.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to go for the obvious line.
Shoot, what would have been?
Mom's spaghetti.
Oh yeah, no, I stopped before. I figured everyone would fill in the blank.
So Fenris is awake, and he's basically kind of sitting at his desk going through correspondence, wondering if he's going to have to send for you, or also just kind of waiting on someone to bring him coffee and breakfast, which he's a little weirded out by still. Even though he's been the Inquisitor for a while, he's not entirely okay with having servants. So as you're going toward that door that always seems to be guarded that leads to his quarters, someone notices you. It's like, you, Grey Warden, sir.
How can I be of service?
You know the Inquisitor was waiting on you this morning. He was expecting you for breakfast.
Where's the Lord Inquisitor?
In his quarters, and so they give you a slight bow and point toward the door that is guarded, and waves at the guards. You let him through. Our Lord Inquisitor is waiting.
I hang my head low in shame and not just shame, but also a word that I completely forgot. So yay, shyness. And I'll approach Fenris's desk
and go through all of the million stairs you have to walk up.
Oh fuck, that's true. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know that
the exercise. It's okay.
Everyone in Dragon Age must have the most fantastic calves and ass with all the stairs that you climb in that game. So yeah, there is a map of the Inquisitor's room. By the way, I know I uploaded that one.
Yes.
So Fenris looks up and he actually gives you a genuine smile. He is happy to see you after he got over his kind of initial shock of re-meeting you and remembering who you were. And he leads you over to like the couch instead of his desk, because his desk feels so formal, like you're in trouble. And it's early, and he's not dressed inquisitorially, I guess would be the word to use. He's not like in night clothes, but he's like in a very casual tunic and just pants before he has to go be the Inquisitor for the day. So he pours you both coffee and motions for you to sit down. I trust that you rested well.
Yeah. Your beds are very comfortable.
Well, if nothing else, if we have to be here for who knows how long, we're going to be comfortable. That includes our honored guests. And Fenner's is just kind of wondering, like, why are you so quiet all of a sudden?
So, take a sip of coffee.
IRL and in game.
Both. What have you been up? I mean, you're Inquisitor, Lord Inquisitor now, but what happened?
Oh, if we only had enough time to give you the whole story. But do you mean after we saw each other the last time in Minrathous? Or do you mean how did I come to be the Inquisitor?
If I had the time, I'd say everything, but how did you escape?
It was an accident. It sounds bad, but well, part of it was an accident. I got left behind on Saharan like unwanted cargo because the Canary attacked. And I wasn't worth more than a magister, even with all this lyrium in my skin. And I found some rebels that took me in, but like everything else in my life, nothing good was going to last. And he found me again. And Fenris pauses and he kind of looks down at his coffee, debating if he even wants to tell you the truth. Because he doesn't want you to think... Well, one is painful, but two, he doesn't want you to think of him as a murderer in that sense. And he pauses. He tried to get me back in the most heinous of ways. And afterward, I fled. I fled until I couldn't breathe and my legs were burning and I just fell to the ground. And I stayed gone, and I've been ahead of him until Kirkwall and Hawk, and it was there that I finally got rid of Daenerys. And I went with Hawk after that, and after Kirkwall, after the Chantry explosion, things got interesting, and I decided to put the skills I have to use to hunt down slavers. Hawk and Anders and some of our other companions have had their own agenda, but we separated with a promise to meet later. And I was on my way back after taking a job to guard the Conclave. And the next thing I know, I woke up with Cassandra Seeker Pendergast yelling at me, claiming I'd murdered the Grand Cleric. But all I remembered was pain and agony, almost as bad as getting the markings. And then I felt this thing in my hand and realized that's what happened. As for how it got there, I'm still not sure. But everyone decided that I was their only hope to close that green thing in the sky. And for now, it suits me to play along.
Is that why you're looking for Enders?
Part of it. Anders and Hawk and some of our other companions couldn't stay together out of fear for what Templars would do. to all of them. And while our new Dalish companions probably think me dangerous for my reputation, they've done me no harm. And I don't hunt mages just to hunt mages. I hunt mages that are slavers. So, as you can guess, it's been very interesting having Dorian in our company. Although he says he's no slaver. So yeah, for now, it suits my whims and purpose to go along, but I do have to remind them occasionally that I'm not perfect, nor am I a savior. So we'll see.
You really don't want to have people start to worship you or anything.
No. We've both seen what happens when power corrupts men. And these... Hawk gets so angry at me when I say this, but these people want such hope. They want someone to save them in a way that I cannot. I'm a fucking ex-slave. What do I know about this? Well, I can't be anyone's hero. That's Hawk's job. That's the warden's job. I just wanted to have a peaceful life after Kirkwall.
Well,
But we don't always get what we want, right?
if I've learned anything in life is that we never get what we want.
No. Not elves. Not ex-slaves. But you, I've talked a lot about me, and if you remember, you know that wasn't something I particularly enjoyed.
No.
But I owed you an update. You're one of the few people that I remember after a fashion. And I do apologize for yesterday.
Oh, hey, nothing to apologize for. I mean, you have to keep up the whole Lord Inquisitor thing and have a sort of a persona to play, I guess. I'm just very happy to see you again.
Well, I am too, but don't let them see that. It'll ruin my reputation as a terrifying commander.
No problem. I can I can leave your room later and say that you've spanked me. I mean, hit me or something.
And Fenris gives you the most like. Is that
Scoffy
a promise? He's like, is that a promise or should I be concerned? Look.
Hey, moving on. What about that warden you said was supposed to be? Because you weren't talking about me, obviously. So who's that other warden that's supposed to? help?
That's Warden Blackwall. But I'm curious at you saying you didn't feel him. From what wardens I've encountered have told me that you can sense each other.
Yeah, it's this the blood that we've ingested during the joining. It calls to like all the dark spawns are connected, if you will, and I guess the wardens are part darkspawn. Loghain didn't really elaborate on it, and well, after what I learned yesterday, I'm not surprised. So yeah,
Wardens have been known to keep secrets.
So it seems. I would just like to meet one that's at least a little for it, right? Just so I can know exactly what I got myself into.
Well, hopefully we will find other wardens, but we will have to make sure that we pay Warden Blackwall a visit now, won't we?
Oh, definitely. I have so much to ask him. I just hope he's the talkative sort.
So will I, especially if it turns out he's not actually a warden. Just because I've taken this mantle doesn't mean that I'm a fool. And if he shows that he can't be trusted, or if he's blatantly lied to gather favor with the Inquisition, it's going to be a very short time at Skyhold for him. Well, don't let me keep you from eating. Fenris makes himself a plate, and he's not like super comfy like if nobody was around, but he eats like normal.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like being dainty or like, trained like you would have been to be like very polite and fastidious. He's just kind of like looking at you like, aren't you gonna eat? Like, I know wardens are always hungry.
The moment Fenris mentions like eating and motions to the food, Errol is gonna go grab a plate and make sure he eats his fill. All the while commenting on the size of this room and how spacious it is and how it must be a pain to keep warm.
Yeah, that's why usually the balcony doors are shut, but I needed some fresh air. When I finally gave up on sleep, I went out and got some air and thought about a lot of things. That's one thing that hasn't come easy to me, is sleep while taking on this mantle.
Well, I'm sure Hawk must be helpful for that. Oh, you have a cat now. That's cool.
Yes. Apparently, a cat has wandered into my quarters before I even got a chance to say
You
hello
left
to
the
it.
balcony doors open. Of course there's a cat that got in.
Yeah. Hawk. That's complicated and more of a overdrinks conversation.
Oh, I don't want to get into your personal life or anything. It's just I figured as the Lord Inquisitor and everything, you must. You know what? I'll shut up now and I'll eat.
Simon, I'm gonna roll a d20. Give me a number between 1 and 20.
17.
Fenris gives you a very piercing look at your remarks, because he hasn't forgotten the spanking comment either. He just looks at you and he gives you this kind of wolfish grin. Like, you're a lot more forthright than I remember back in Minrathous. He doesn't approach you, but he's giving you that look, kind of like, you're chatty.
Well, I wasn't really allowed to speak in Minrathous.
True. I mean, neither was I, but you know as well as I do that as slaves we could be very expressive without saying a single word.
Oh, I remember, but the strong silent type suits you a lot more than it suits me. I'm more of a cheerful, optimistic person. I don't like giving myself qualities.
Well, Mathal knows that I could use a lot more cheer around here because usually by the 6th bell, I've had my fill of Lord Inquisitor this, Lord Inquisitor that. It gets to be quite a bit. And someone who knows me and knew me back then would be a breath of fresh air.
Well, it's not like there's a blight on the way. Once we come back with Enders, I can stick around. I can train the troops. I mean, I am, despite the bumbling idiot you've seen this morning, I am a trained warrior. I've done my fair share of killing. I'm not necessarily proud of it.
I don't think you're a bumbling idiot. If I thought you were, I wouldn't talk to you. I wouldn't have met you this morning.
Oh.
And honestly, with the exception of Hawk and Zevran and sometimes Varric, it can be really lonely being the Inquisitor. And I only tell you this because you two know what it's like to have to play the role.
Being
So,
a Grey Warden is also very lonely.
yeah. I'll tell you what, after you've investigated at Crestwood, we can catch up over some Agricio Babali.
I don't know what you just said, but I figure it's a drink.
It's wine. It's wine that that I grew fond of and drank copiously, especially after I killed Daenerys. Being Inquisitor does have some perks. If I say I want something, they will make sure I have it.
And it can be anything?
It could be, yes. And that's where we're going to fade away to someone else's scene. No, it's not over yet. We're just going to go see what other people are up to.
Please, I don't want to hug the spotlight. I'm not. Where are we? So I can switch the map.
So let me look at the maps because I'm smart. You can switch it to the Herald's Rest.
Okay.
Because it's it's still breakfast time, but it's not like super early because you all should leave for Crestwood probably after lunch, or maybe even take road rations with you. But Mavia and Varric, you, instead of meeting in the throne room or in Varric's quarters, you are in the Herald's Rest, which is the tavern of Skyholds. And Mavia, how are you feeling about meeting this scion of Dwarven society?
The one that she didn't know who he was.
Yes, that one. Until you didn't know who he was till yesterday.
Obviously, if he's gotten this high up in the ranks, he's got some pull, and he can probably catch me out, no matter how good I am. So she's a little worried, but she's hoping that her fantastic charm can pull her through.
Okay. So you're sitting across from Varric, he's got this opulent spread because it's Varric. He doesn't do things half-assed. He's got coffee, even though it's morning. He's got a nice coffee stout and ale. Because in some ways he's very dwarvish. He's got ledger books in front of him, and as you come up, he kind of waves for you to sit down and waves someone over to bring you a plate as well. So are you going to say anything? You're just going to dig in? How are you playing this? Because I'm guessing maybe is not exactly playing it cool about meeting Varric.
She definitely would have taken some time to make sure she looked her best.
Hmm.
You know, she's got her makeup in place, all of her makeup. And you know, her hair is nice and fluffy. Um she's a little worried about making the first comment. So I think
Okay.
she'll kind of look at the food and then look at him and be like, I don't know if I should eat. Because I mean, she pulled the whole snack meal thing with Ambassador Montiato, but I don't think she thinks she can pull this with this guy.
Oh God. All right.
So
So
she's just kind of sitting there, but like you can tell, like her nostrils are kind of flaring the way you do when you smell really good food and you're really hungry.
so he glances up because he's like, you know, he's expecting to like for you to eat. He's just like, well, go on. He finishes like working in his ledger while he's like um getting a plate brought to him.
By the time his plate gets there, her plate is empty.
And he notices
Like he looks down at his ledger for like 2 minutes and he looks up and she's just like,
okay. It's like, you know, we'll feed you. You don't have to eat like no one's going to feed you again.
I mean, of course you're going to feed me. Why wouldn't you feed me?
I don't know. I usually just see orphans, castless, dusters eat like they don't know where the next meal is coming from.
Yes, well, no, I was just very hungry. I'm yes. No, it was delicious. Hello.
So you're a Mavia, huh?
Yes, I am Mavia.
And so Varric is just like he's trying to give you every opportunity to come clean. He's just waiting. And so after a while, he's
By
like,
the way, when I said all her makeup, I mean she's got the tattoos concealed and everything. So.
yeah. Oh no, Varric's done some.
I mean, no, he
homework.
knows, but she thinks she's pretty good.
So Varric just kind of like taps the squill and like, you know, like, well, go on. Just, you know, just wave over one of the servers if you would like another plate. And he starts digging in, but he's just like occasionally glancing up at Mavia, kind of like, well,
She's like, so if you've ever seen someone who has at a time in their life not had enough to eat, she's but she's trying so hard to act like that isn't her. So she's like got her hands like clenched in her lap, like she's desperately trying not to call the waiter over.
So Varric is just like, oh my god, why by the stone? Why? Like he doesn't say it, but he's thinking it because he sees through you. And he's also been there once the Tethros clan was exiled. So he just like very slyly waves over the server and another plate appears in front of you. So he leans back, starts sipping his coffee. He's like, so tell me again how you got the summons from Broody. Oh, I mean our Lord Inquisitor.
Did you just call him Birdie?
Broody, but I've
Oh.
known him many, many years. I would suggest you don't call him that.
I was going to say Birdie doesn't seem like it would fit.
No, not in the least. If I called him Birdie, I wouldn't be here.
The summons actually came from Ambassador Montelier.
Well, yes, it was her lovely penmanship.
It's very nice.
Um, and our dear ambassador is very lovely. However, I'm pretty sure that it wasn't Amavia that was supposed to get that.
Oh no, I have it. It says I have the envelope. It says maybe, yeah.
So he just like leans forward, like, you know, like in movies when someone's like leaning over, it's like, look, I know you're bullshitting me. He's like, so dwarf to dwarf, just
She's gonna kind of lean in, you know.
what's your deal? Because you can either tell me or I can tell the Inquisitor what I know. Either way, it's better if you tell me.
Well, what do you know? I mean, I'm obviously a hero, and I've come to help.
Oh, Varric is just like staring you down, kind of like, oh, come on. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. You cannot bullshit a bullshitter. He's looking at you.
I mean, I could be a hero.
You could be. I mean, the hero Ferelden stopped the blight with just 2 wardens and a dog. Hawk.
What did the dog
Kinda.
do?
Hey, the dog was a warden too by the end of it. But, I mean, Hawk saved Kirkwall with a ragtag bunch of friends that he picked up literally off the street in some cases. Including me, but I kind of saved him, depending on who you ask.
I find that perspective is often key in storytelling.
You're onto something there. So, one storyteller to another. Come on, you can tell me. We both know that you're not the one that was supposed to have gotten that letter. Varric's doing everything in his power to try to give you an out.
And she's like, she's really trying not to squirm in her seat. And she's not sweating. You know, she's not sweating it, but she's kind of got that, if you've ever seen a little kid desperately trying to come up with a reason why, you know, like there's no cookies left. That's kind of the look on her face right now.
Even though you have cookie crumbs on your face.
I'm not saying this is an occurrence that has happened to me in my life, okay? Anyway. I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law, and I have the letter. I have it.
I know that you have the
I
letter.
mean, if someone else were supposed to have it, maybe they should have taken better care of their things.
So Varric like reaches in his coat and pulls out like a lovely handkerchief and like hands it to you because he feels like you're about to cry and he really doesn't want to make you cry. Because while Varric can be a rogue and a scoundrel, he does not like making women cry. So he just leans back and he's kind of like, look, kiddo. I know what you're trying to hide, and I'm trying to save you some embarrassment. I don't know. I don't know how you managed to pull this off. And maybe there's a hero under all that makeup. Or, you know, maybe you're going to turn tail at the first sign of real danger. But let's just put it this way. I know those daggers are more for show than anything else. Any blood that's got on them has been totally by accident. So, I'll make a deal with you. You actually see this through, I won't rat you out, because I want to see what you're made out of. I want to see if you can actually do this and if there is a hero under there. Fail and run away, then the Inquisition might be looking for you wherever you go until you die. Are we clear?
I'm very good at running.
So you're a coward, is what you're telling me.
No.
There are people here.
I'm a survivor.
Fair. And you know who else is a survivor? The Inquisitor. Most of the people here in Skyhold are survivors because you know what they had to get through? A Mage Templar war none of them asked for. I had to survive getting dragged from the only home I've known for years after getting exiled from Orzammar, after losing my home and my family and my brother. So I can respect you being a survivor, but you've taken on a huge task and responsibility. I want you to do good. I want you to do the best you can. What I don't want is for you to keep running from responsibility. A hero's tale doesn't start with running away, usually.
I wasn't running from responsibility.
Well, you said you're good at running, so you're going to leave us, or you want to stick it through? Are you going to get on a horse and go to Crestwood later with the rest of them?
Are you guys gonna kill me?
We're not cold-blooded murderers. No one's going to kill you just to kill you. You might get executed if the Inquisitor finds out you totally lied and sullied his good name somehow. For what his good name is worth, depending on who you ask. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't even know who he is.
He's a rough piece of work some days.
Until
But
last night, I didn't know who you were.
Well, you might want to change that, especially being a dwarf. But I'm not trying to make you cry. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to put the fear of the maker of the stone into you. What I want you to know is that you've come here with this letter and we want you to honor it. Or there's consequences.
There's always consequences.
All right.
And she'll kind of like reach up with her sleeve and like she's ignored the handkerchief because it's obviously a very nice handkerchief and she's not going to ruin it. So she's just gonna reach up with her sleeve and like rub her nose and her eyes. And most of the makeup off with it, which does leave her tattoo extremely visible.
So Varric just kind of raises an eyebrow. He's like, you might want to go check a mirror before you see anyone else.
Do they hate us here too?
No, most surfacers don't even know what those tattoos mean. A lot of them just think that some dwarves like face tattoos. Remember, unless you're a surfacer, a lot of humans don't see us. Either by choice or by not. They just probably think they're decorative.
As soon as you said that most people wouldn't know what it was, she got this kind of calculating look on her face.
Oh.
What if I came up with a really heroic story about why I have it?
Known for my job as the author around the keep. He says it with a smile. He's trying to get you to kind of come out of your shell a little bit and not look so upset.
Say
Maybe in
that I wasn't the original owner of this letter.
Mm-hmm.
But say the person that had the letter was really a drunk. And is not in possession of the letter anymore. Or his horse. Or his daggers.
So was it a bet? Did you drink him under the table? Or did you just take things from the first drunk dwarf you saw?
I was singing in a tavern. I ran away from Orzammar. Because I was kind of going to be killed.
Why would they try to kill you?
I assumed because I got home and my parents were both dead.
Oh, wait, what's your clan name? And if you don't want to speak it out loud here, we can speak privately after you come back from Crestwood.
My parents were shopkeepers. But they also may have handled goods for some people.
The Carta, I'm guessing.
And they thought I'd go into the family business. But I wanted to be a singer, you know?
Yeah, well, I understand you well on that front.
So, yeah, I left. I took my stuff and I left, and then they hired me to sing at that tavern. And then the dwarf you said it to got really drunk and passed out at the table.
All right. Well, maybe this will work out better in the end then, if the one we summoned couldn't even stay sober enough to get here.
It's actually his name on the top of the letter, but I ripped it off.
All right, I believe you. Before you leave for Crestwood,
Don't tell anybody.
I'm not.
They think I'm a hero.
Not sure they think you're a hero, but
They will. It's nice to be a hero.
not as nice as people think. But that's a tale for after you get back. But give me some information. I can look into what happened to your parents, because even working for the Carta, it's not normal to take out shopkeepers or their kid. But that can wait till you're back.
I'm kind of annoying.
No one, kid, if you could get killed for being annoying, most of my friends and family would have been murdered long ago.
How close, while he's talking to her, how close attention has he been paying to his breakfast plate?
Not really. Like he's eaten some of it, but there's food left.
He has no more sausage or toast.
Okay. He probably wouldn't be surprised when he does bother to look and like try to eat. Is like, oh, okay, you're hungry. He's just like, don't worry, kid, I got you. Just, you know what? Just don't get killed out there, okay? Come back from Crestwood and we'll talk more.
Can you apologize to the guy with the eye patch for me?
Bull?
Yeah.
Why? What did you do?
asked him if he still had an eye under the eye patch.
Maybe that should come from you, but it can wait. You get some more food. I'm gonna refill my plate from what you stole. And then we'll make sure that you get properly geared and we can take you to Bull and make sure that you get a chance to apologize and that's not on your mind.
As he gets up to walk away, she kind of grabs his sleeve. Did they really just feed you whenever you're hungry here?
Yes. It's a perk of the Inquisition. Yeah. And Fenris is there. Lord Inquisitor Fenris is pretty adamant about no one being hungry on his watch. So it's okay. We'll make sure that you don't have to eat like no one's gonna ever bring you another plate. It's okay.
I told the ambassador that I got 5 meals a day at my last job.
No one's giving you 5 meals a day, but we'll make sure that you're fed reasonably. Bull doesn't even eat 5 meals a day, and you saw him.
It was worth a shot.
Just fill your plate, and Varric like pats her on the head, even if he's like, "Oh, poor lamb, you need help." And so I wanted to be sure that we did see what Zelenus has been up to before we take a break, because while Zelenus, whatever you're doing this morning, Varisa has been off sneaking around.
Yep.
First eavesdropping on Cullen, and now somehow in trying to get back to her room without being seen because of that ridiculous stealth roll, is now somehow eavesdropping on Fenris and Harold. So she heard the part of their conversation, but she's not too worried about Fenris and Harold. She doesn't think that they're a threat, I'm guessing. Unless you're like, oh, Mage Killer must kill Fenris too.
No, she doesn't think that they're a threat, but she just likes to know the lay of the land. And I was looking at the map of Skyhold and figured out that it would actually be the fastest way back.
Okay. So while Varisa's been doing that, what have you been doing with your morning?
I think it was actually sort of a relief to notice that Varisa had gone off to, I probably don't want to know what, because it's all been a lot and I just want some alone time. So I'm gonna sort of break my fast and all of that rather quickly, and then just head out just into sort of an open space just outside the city. And there's a ritual that the previous keeper did every day at the top of the day, and I sort of spent the better part of the night before I fell asleep in the morning after I woke up trying to remember it exactly and make sure that I really just sort of very anxious about trying to get this ritual right now that I have found myself in this position of keeper. And so I'm going to go out and sort of sit on the ground and begin this ritual. And about a third of the way in, I'm going to screw it up.
Oh no.
I'm just going to forget a piece here or something, or stumble on the words of it. And there's magic involved, but it's not a spell. It's just sort of drawing on magic generally. So if you'd like me to make a roll, I can, but otherwise we can just handle it narratively.
I want to hear the narrative of this, please.
All right. So when I sort of stumble, because I don't really know what I'm doing fully, my staff, sort of the top of my staff sort of catches fire on the little tips of the adornments up there, and it startles me, and I sort of drop the staff, and I have just sort of flashes of everything that's happened, of course, the terrible night when the clan was attacked, but also just remembering training with the keeper as their first and all of this. and then he just sort of starts laughing, I think.
Okay.
Just laughing to himself at the absurdity of the situation and remembering what Fenris had said to him about, to stop with all of this this bullshit. And he just sort of laughs and thinks to himself, that I can stop with all of the bullshit, that there are traditions that I have to carry on, but this is a chance for Verisa and I to start our own clan and our own family and our own traditions. And there's just such a sort of relief. And I think he looks around to make sure that Verisa isn't watching, and just sort of, or anyone is watching, but Verisa in particular, and just sort of completely ignores the staff and just sort of dances.
Oh my
And
God,
it's
I
like
wish there was
not
enough room for you to do this.
it's not grace, it's not cute, it's not, which is okay. It's not graceful, it's not anything other than just like he feels lighter than he has in a long time. Because if the Inquisitor, who is also an elf, who is also a mage hunter, can invite me to Skyhold and tell me to drop the bullshit, then Kondraste above, what other permission do I need?
I mean, that's fair. I really wish there was enough room for you to really dance.
I can't decide if it's like contemporary, like human real world, just like dancing,
He
or
should
if it's
totally film it for us,
weird-
like after this, and we can post it.
Yes.
I'm very
please.
expensive.
Yes.
I
don't know.
I'm not sure if it's like a jig or if it's like this weird like elven interpretive I'm not sure. I can't decide.
Oh my
yet.
God. How much would it cost to make this happen?
Seriously. Honestly, just get some hot wine in Eugenio and he'll probably
That's-
forget that he was
Now
gonna charge us.
Oh my God. We need this right now.
I'll see what happens. I haven't experimented with TikTok enough yet, so we'll see.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow.
I make no promises, but we'll see.
So just because I'm evil and I need to laugh,
Yeah, no, do it.
as you are having this moment of joy and expressing yourself, Verisa, while trying to sneak back to her room, sees you. She's just like, however she's like, Antivan Crow style climbing around because she got the ridiculous stealth roll. And then she just stops and stares at you. I need to know how this looks.
I think it has to be some sort of like a little voguing and a little, I don't know.
I
It's
think
Madonna and Martha Graham.
I think Marisa just kind of sits on like whatever like roof sill, like right at the pitch of the roof that's there that she was climbing on, and just sits there and watches, looks around, finds like a pebble in one of the gutters, and it's just like chucks it at him.
I think so at that point I'm doing this
Not to hit him, just to like, okay, dude. Kind of.
just in this shimmying back bend and sort of upside down. I see Verisa there and just fall over.
Oh God, don't fall out of your chair for real.
No, I'm okay.
Oh my God.
And just brushes and picks up the staff and has that knee-jerk reaction sort of moment of like, oh, the entirety of the rest of my clan is here, and sort of tightens up again. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see the little now like black singed tips of my staff, and I just start laughing again.
Oh God.
And there's that slow clap just from the rooftop.
Wow. I think that's a perfect place to take a break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Please stretch, go get water. If you need meds, if you haven't eaten, get a snack. And we'll be back with more shenanigans and hopefully on our way to Crestwood before we end tonight.
And we're back.
Hello. Hopefully everyone got water, you're hydrated, you got snacks. Shout out to my friend Steven though, because it's like 3 in the morning in the UK, so I applaud you for staying up with us. Because as much as I like my friends, I could not be up till 3 in the morning to watch anybody play anything. So when we left off right before the break, everyone has had their morning meetings and everything else. And so to kind of wrap up and get everyone on the road, you meet in the grand hall for lunch. Fenris has Harold to his right hand. He's got Bull and some of his advisors to the left, and our party is directly across from them, all at the table, and everyone's just kind of enjoying a nice, congenial lunch. Mavia has wound up right across from the Iron Bull, however. And Bull is he's not giving you a dirty look, but he's trying to figure this little dwarven lass out.
She's doing the, just the kind of stare straight ahead, like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. No, that was my cat this time.
Oh, no, that was my radiator turning on. I was like, what's that noise?
So Bull just kind of leans back and he has his flag and he's like, "Oh, you're still here."
Yes. So are you.
He just like looks at you like, and why wouldn't I be here?
Is that a rhetorical question?
No, I really want to know why you think I wouldn't be here.
You'd be out punching somebody?
Hunting someone?
Punching somebody!
Punching? That doesn't make any more sense.
I'm sorry about what I said about your eye the other day.
He just gives you a smirk. He's like, forget about it. You're clearly a sweet kid, and it's not the worst question I've been asked. You should hear what people ask
am an
about my
adult.
horns. He's giving you that. Sure, an adult.
Did you she kind of looks around and leans in a little bit over the table. Do you think they mind if we take some sandwiches?
Are you asking Bull that?
Yes.
Like, no, but you'll get road rations with your horse. You know, sandwich is a little bit messy to eat while on the road. I mean, no one's, jerky, flagon a wine skin, a water skin, some bread. I mean, you can take a sandwich with you, and Bull is just kind of like, really, where did she come from? Like, he doesn't say it, but he's looking around kind of like, for real, where did she come from?
Wait till he sees the pony.
Well, he may have seen the pony. He is Ben Hasrath. He may have investigated you, but in a more literal way.
She doesn't know what that pony's original name was. It's just Pegasus now.
Right. He's just like, yeah, whatever. You take what you want. He kind of looks at Fenris, and Fenris looks at him. Is like, he's just like enjoying lunch before he sees you all out the gate. Unless, of course, you all would like Fenris to come with you for some reason. Because, truth be told, he would not say no to getting out of Skyhold for a while.
He's got a very big sword.
Why is everyone looking at
tempting.
Why is everyone looking at you?
I mean, there's clearly some tension.
I mean...
Okay, but I have a question for you, Tanya, and it's very important.
Or me, in or out of character?
Out of character.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
If we go without Fenris on this adventure, would that screw up my romance side quest with him because we would get past a point and I would forget a gift?
No.
Simon has priorities.
That is an excellent question. No, it would not screw things up, but you would not get as much quality time to hang out with Fenris if he does not accompany you. So,
Honestly, I will leave it to chat.
oh God, what they're going to say.
Yeah, they're gonna say a lot of things, but that's okay because Verisa, who's been watching, like she has an apple and she's been peeling it and just kind of eating it like with that negligently with the knife thing that you that Gina Torres does in Firefly. That looks so dope, and you realize why she's doing it is because to avoid explosives inside the apples. It's creepy. But she's sitting there doing that, and she's looking at Harold and back in Fenris and Harold and Fenris, and then she goes, "So." And then she looks at Zalanis, shrugs, and goes, "So are you bringing your boyfriend with us?"
For the record, that was me and Zalanis.
He's not my...
Oh, no, wait, hold on. Fenris has to react to this.
Mavia, you see
Sorry, I'm
Mavia
yelling.
just go, drama.
So Fenris, too, has a knife. Oh, wait, I can't show a knife on stream. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's a pen.
No, I have an actual
Oh yeah,
knife.
I wish.
So he's like got his fork kind of halfway to his mouth as he heard this. I mean, he's right there. He can hear you.
She wasn't being quiet about it, and she wasn't trying to hide from him.
Right. But he's like... And he like goes back and like lets his fork kind of hit the plate and go... Like you know how like the gif of the confused person doing the math, I forget the actress's name, and he's just sitting there like trying to figure out.
Rider.
You hear
Yes.
You hear from the other, like Mavia addressing Iron Bull in what she thinks is a very quiet voice. Are they like, he's not gonna answer. He's just gonna leave her hanging.
So you're saying this to
I'm
Bull?
asking Bull. I'm like, are they like I didn't know. Are they
And Bull leans over a little bit. He's like, if they are, that's the fastest move I've ever seen anyone make on the Inquisitor.
do a lot of people make moves on the Inquisitor?
Some, yeah, because power attracts people.
It's a big sword.
And you know what they say about big swords.
Compensation?
Nah.
And she'll turn to say something to Bastion, but I would assume Bastion is like, nope.
I'm just trying not to pay attention.
Oh,
All I
God.
can imagine is Harold doing the bit from Young Frankenstein. Yes, he was my boyfriend. It's just like-
Well, Chad has spoken, so apparently we're bringing Fenris along.
God. Ooh, let me not choke on my coffee or anything.
Yes, I can make people laugh. I'm not trying to kill a DM.
No, I'm just like, oof. Let me finish swallowing coffee. But Fenris, it's comical, and if Hawk or Zevran walk in right at that moment, they've both seen him like this, like that utter what just happened, the record scratch. You may be wondering how I got here, because he's just like, first I'm the Inquisitor. No one asked me. I was just doing a job. I thought I was just having breakfast with an old friend, and what? And he leans back and he looks at Verisa. I'm sorry, what?
I asked if he was bringing you were coming with.
That's not what you said.
No, I did ask particularly if he was bringing his boyfriend, but now that I'm talking to you, I thought I'd rephrase it to be more polite. I was polite, wasn't I, Zalanis?
You were so close, Marisa. You're so close. We'll keep practicing. It's okay.
You know, Verisa, if there's only 2 of you left, you might want to like.
That'd be weird. That
It
No,
really
no, I
would-
mean like maybe don't get in a lot of trouble because there's only 2 of you.
yeah. I can make it out this door.
Oh wow. Fenris just sitting there like, what's happening? And as he's like having this moment of, what is my life? What? Cullen comes in and is like just nonchalantly walking by and just like drops a travel pack next to him and keeps going. Like he knew this would happen somehow. Like just not a word, just see you later, Inquisitor. I'll hold down the fort, literally. And out of nowhere, you hear Zevran. I can't do an Antivan accent. I'm not going to try because I think Eugenio would like come through the screen if I tried to do a terrible Antivan accent.
Look, here's the thing. Antiva, not a real place. Who's to say that that is not an accent that is in Antiva?
I don't know, but it's like every,
I mean,
well, every time I think of Antiva, I think of like a really bad Spanish accent, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to come after me.
That's fair. That's fair.
But Zevran, like, because he is the spy master and the Antivan Crow, he's overheard all of this. He's just
wasn't
sitting
so.
there. What? So he just like pulls up a chair and does like the backwards sit, and he's like, so we leave you for 1 day and you've already got a boyfriend?
Don't I get a say in this or something?
in the background you hear, I don't know, are they actually boyfriends?
I don't
Oh,
know. It seems
God.
kind of fine.
I mean,
Fast.
I mean, it's fast, but I mean, that's love. I mean, love can come at you fast. Shit, sorry.
Nope. I won't laugh. I will not.
There's a lot of
Nope,
things
I won't
that
do
could
it.
come fast at you, but not me.
Stop it! Get!
It was too easy. That joke was out of character.
Jump
I was-
shark.
Hey, that's great food.
Is that spaghetti?
No. So Fenris is just like, he's just like, and he starts talking to Zevran in Antivan, hoping none of you can speak it. I don't have your character sheet in front of me, so if any of you speak Antivan, now's the time to tell me in a whisper. But he's like, he starts arguing, and you can tell it's like 2 old friends arguing in Antivan, and the rest of you are sitting going, fuck, what's happening? And he's like, but and Zephyr just like pats him on the shoulder. He's like, I'll get your horse ready and your sword. He says this in trade and starts laughing as he wandered away. He like doesn't even bother. He's just like, it's okay. Hawk and I'll be fine. And he has a nerve to wink at Fenris as he leaves.
And then Verisa turns back to Harold and says, so I guess your boyfriend is coming.
Oh boy.
He's not my boyfriend.
And Fenris
Mhm.
like gives you a look like, what's happening? And he asks you in Tavine, but Tavine is a common enough language, especially among mages. This may or may not stay a private conversation. Boyfriend? What happened? I saw you an hour ago.
I think.
What happened?
I think they believe we did it.
And Fenris has like this affronted expression, kind of like, I'm not that fast.
It's there's a saying that I've heard traveling across the land. It says, if there is no homoerotic subtext, I will create one. It seems to be to apply particularly to this situation.
And he's just like, he's giving you like every emotion is flickering over his face because he's just like, what?
In the background, did they know each other before, or was this just like really quick? I just really
And-
want to know if anybody's answering. She's asking Bastian, who doesn't know. But
I
I'm
beats
I
the hell out
think-
of me.
I think at that point, Marisa just looks at the two of them and goes, "Well, you know, Inquisitor, if you
Oh,
didn't,
now I'm the Inquisitor.
sure,
Now you remember my title.
you said not to use it. I won't use it any further. You know, Fenris, just for security reasons, maybe don't leave your balcony doors open if you don't want everyone to hear what's being said."
Don't you know that my balcony's over a mountain range? What were you even doing out there?
Morning workouts.
Are you an Antivan crow and no one told me?
No, but just about the same.
The balance between amused and horrified for Zalanis just really flipped when she told him that she was spying on him. Oh, Varisa.
Now, admittedly, I wasn't spying on you. It was just workouts.
He's just sitting there, like, rubbing his forehead at this point. He's like, I'm going to murder Hawk when he gets back. I'm really just going to throw him off the balcony. I let him, I send him on one assignment, and this is what happens when he's not around.
Hmm.
So he just sighs. He's like, go get ready. I'm going to put on my armor, and I'll meet you in the courtyard. He just gives up at that point, even though, like, internally he's excited as hell to get out of Skyhold because he's tired of being Lord Inquisitor. He is actually really excited to get out of the fortress for a little bit. He doesn't show this at all, but he gives Harold a look, kind of like I'm going to talk to you later.
What
buddy.
have I done?
Nothing yet. We're going to talk.
Nothing. That's part of the problem.
Varisa, make sure you get that conversation for us.
Thank you.
And
Not
then
deserved, but
she'll
thank
look
you.
at Bastian and go, "Of course."
Wow. Y'all are gonna like be writing all the fanfic with Varric. I can't take it. So Fenris has wandered off. Like he's still just like.
oh, speaking of, is Varric there at the table?
He was, but after he hears that Fenris is going to go with you, he like goes to find Josie so they can make arrangements because Josie had not planned for the Lord Inquisitor to not be at the fortress for a while. And so now that's going to throw all of her plans and her schedule into flux because the Lord Inquisitor was supposed to have all these meetings and blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, well, I guess I'm going to Crestwood. Deuces. And so they've wandered off to take care of business. So you've got a little time before you have to muster in the courtyard of Skyhold and get ready to leave because now you're basically just waiting on Fenris to come back down in his armor. And Zevran, you come out and see Zevran grooming a horse, and you see the ridiculously large sword that Fenris normally carries strapped to the side of this horse. So are any of you, what are you all doing while you wait for his high and mightiness to come down and join you?
I think Varisa would actually walk over to Zevran and say, "BT dubs, I don't know if you're aware, but like, that was the path I took in case you're concerned about somebody stabbing the Inquisitor in the dark. I'm sure your professional had already figured it out, but..."
He just looks at you like, who are you? He gives you this like, and whomst are thou? Look.
Varisa, don't bother the man. That's not Zalanis' voice at all.
Like, all right,
He's
sure.
so stressed out.
His accent's gone.
Just gone.
She's just like, "All right, fine," and she turns around and walks away. But she's still got the bow and the knives, and she's ready to go.
Mavia
Okay.
is looking for her horse in places that you wouldn't normally look for a horse, like on roofs, and things like. She's just looking for her horse because it wasn't in the stable.
Your horse was
She insists on calling it a horse. It is definitely a pony.
Well, your pony is not on the roof. Your pony is just kind of. It was overlooked at first because it was a pony. The groomsman was looking for an actual horse, but they found your horse and brought it out to you on the second round of bringing out equipment and horses and animals, etc. So Zevran is making notes in a little notebook about Barisa as you all wait. I mean, he is the Crow Master and the Spy Master of the Inquisition. Now he's got a new assignment he's given himself.
I mean, she figured it would be appropriate if that's the spy master for her to be polite enough to point out, by the way.
I know, but he's just like, who are you? Like, where did you come from?
The roof.
Lord. Sorry, that just totally threw me off for a second.
Out of curiosity, are there horses for Zalanis and I? Because we didn't have horses when we got here.
Yes, the Inquisition is providing horses, because if you had to walk to Crestwood, it would be about 10 days on foot. So yeah, you all have horses.
Mavia would like to show off her horse to Bull. Show how awesome her horse is.
All right. Go forth and show off.
She's very
your
proud
horse.
of her horse. She will trot the little pony over to him, which probably what comes up to his hip, maybe.
Maybe his knee, because Bull's pretty tall.
And she's like, "This is Pegasus."
Bastion is
Fine.
going to walk by and say she loses her on roofs and keep walking.
And Bull just kind of tilts his head. How do you lose a pony on a roof?
I don't know. I assume that they all like to get on roofs.
Is that why you named it Pegasus?
Yes.
All right. Just please don't lose your...
Are you walking or do you have a horse?
I'm a little big for a horse.
Mm.
I can walk. I can keep up. It's
You have
no
a
big
dragon?
deal. I wish.
That'd be pretty
I-
cool. If you get a dragon, can I ride on the dragon with you? Trying to keep a straight face. I can't.
And Bull just like literally stops. Like, if I get a dragon, I don't think riding with me would be appropriate. And Bull gets this like look on his face, and then just kind of goes. He just like gives you this little weird grin, and then just wanders off to muster up with everyone else. And as you
There's
are,
not enough room on the dragon. And she just kind of is very sad about this whole situation.
I'll explain the Canarian dragons when we're done.
Okay, good, because I have no idea.
So as this is happening, Fenris finally comes out. He's got on armor, and it's kind of like a cross between what he would have had in Dragon Age 2 and the Inquisitor armor. There's no like big vulnerable stripe in the back of the armor. And he just like gets on a horse, the one that Zevran prepared for him, and they're like chatting really quickly, and quietly, and he's like looking at Barisa. Like both of them are kind of looking at Barisa, and like they just give each other a nod, like that kind of "all right, I'll see you when I get back" nod. And he trots up to Harold. He's like, "So, boyfriends, huh?"
Before we leave, I need to talk to that other Grey Warden.
Oh yeah, Blackwall.
No time.
I mean, we could tell him to follow us, and that way it'll be a good test to see if you can sense him. So he sends for a runner to pass the order that Warden Blackwall should follow you all to Crestwood and depart as soon as possible, and that he should know the way. You've been to Crestwood before. And so he's just giving you this look like, oh, you're going to explain this. Like, what happened between breakfast and now? What happened?
Literally nothing.
He's just like giving you that look, like that one, like kind of crooked eyebrow. Like, how do they think I'm your boyfriend? We had breakfast.
It might be all the posters of you in my room. That was out of game.
I was like, wait, what? Hold on.
He has like a full-length pinup in his locker.
Oh God, he has the Fenris body pillow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a
Aw.
commission. We definitely should talk about that, but we should focus on Anders first, and keep distractions for later.
I wouldn't call it a distraction. And he leans over and gets very close to you and whispers in your ear, it's like, it's not a distraction at all if it's something you want. And then he kicks off and starts riding toward Crestwood. And he's like, and then when no one follows him, he's like, aren't you coming? You wanted me to go with you.
What, right now?
I don't know. Right now,
Yes.
I am. I'm frantically
stunned.
looking through the rules for what happens when you're paralyzed.
Verisa's on the horse. She's just following. She's like, all right, we're
Yeah.
leaving. All right, time to go.
Let's see. Peril, are you stunned to inaction? Are you role playing that out for us?
Yeah. Harold is stunned.
Okay.
It was not something he expected Fenris to say. How long do elves live again?
Oh, elves. I mean, in Dragon Age lore, I'm pretty sure they still live much longer than humans. Like dwarves, elves, and Canari will outlive humans. I'm looking up something. But go ahead. How's that working out for you?
I think Harold is just standing still watching Fenris leave on his horse, and he's just trying to grab the bridle of his horse, which is probably 2 feet behind him, so he's just grasping at nothing.
Oh no.
And then just a little blushing and a little flushed, he turns around and gets on his horse and climbs on, straightens himself up, tries to regain his composure, and leaves.
All right. So if we use this as it's written, there is a stunt called Stun Silence.
That works.
And this would apply for Fenris to you. You're so impressive that you leave all those who witness your display completely dumbfounded and unable to speak for at least a full round. Outside combat, this lasts at the very least long enough for your character to begin to do something else. So
The next
If
couple
you
of
are
hours.
So in the next couple of hours, hopefully someone has noticed that you are not with the party. Or, because in 2 hours, somebody would be like, hey, why haven't you left? Unless you would like the other Grey Warden to kind of drag you along. It's a chance to talk to Warden Blackwall.
Yeah, I think let's go with that. That could work.
All right. So for whatever reason, the party leaves Harold, who is just stunned into inaction by what he never thought he would hear from his hero. And they're traveling, and someone has given Fenris an excuse for why you're not there. You forgot something important. And finally you feel a tap on the shoulder, and there's a gruff man, dark hair, big bushy beard, in warden armor, is like, hey, weren't you supposed to go to Crestwood with that group?
Ah, who are you?
Blackwall, Warden Blackwall. Who are you?
Oh, Warden Harrell.
Warden Harrell. When did you get here?
Yesterday. We should get going. I think we're both late, and I don't think we should keep Fenris waiting.
Oh, it's Fenris. I take it you know our Lord Inquisitor outside of these hallowed walls. And while you're talking, he is he's like mounting up and waiting for you to do the same so you can like trot off and catch up with the group.
Okay, so while we're traveling,
okay.
so Mavia brings up her little Shetland pony next to Bull. I'm just gonna like keep it next to him, and she's just gonna start listing all the creatures that are big enough for him to have as a mount. She's gonna be like, "What about a Druffalo? Do you think you could ride a Druffalo?
I could probably ride a Druffalo."
What would you name it if you rode a Druffalo?"
And Bull's kind of like, I usually eat Druffalo when we catch them. Muffy.
Muffy?
They're fuzzy. They're mouflon-y. They're sheepy.
I agree with your terms. We shall have to get you a Druffalo. But do you know how to ride? Like, have you ever ridden anything? Crap!
He just smiles. He gives you the most predatory smile.
I had no idea about any of these people. Stop.
Oh, no. We'll have a conversation once we're done with the game. He just gives you like the biggest fucking grin. Like, oh, I've ridden a lot.
And the thing is, with the Druffalo, you wouldn't even really have to have like a saddle because you could hold on to the horns.
He points at his horns like, do you think I want anyone holding my horns to... Never mind.
And this time, even she's like,
yeah, no, just let's go. We should catch up.
I have a feeling he probably walks faster than this pony trots.
Probably. I mean, Bull canonically is what, 7 feet tall, almost 8.
Have you ever seen a little Shetland pony? But they're like teeny tiny legs.
Yes, this is hilarious.
Oh yes.
Bull caught himself before he was going to say something really inappropriate for a little dwarven woman he just met. That for now he is.
I'm going to turn this into the best buddy cop show in the world.
Oh boy.
He's 3 days to retirement, Tanya.
I'm too old for this. So Bull just shakes his head and is like, we should catch up. Like, he's trying so hard to be good. Like, he's trying. He's not doing well, but he's trying.
I stole some bacon from Varric, so if you get hungry, I've got bacon. And she just keeps going.
Bacon?
Yeah.
You stole bacon from Curly. Not Curly, but God, what is Bull's nickname for Varric? You stole bacon from Varric? Why did you? We feed people.
But someday you might not.
Sure.
Anyway, and she just
trots on. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. So you all are traveling. Mavia and Iron Bull are the latest buddy cop.
Oh my God, Simon, love handles really for the horns?
I mean, come on.
It could happen. It could happen. So while you all are traveling, are you chatting anymore with Blackwall? Or are you still kind of stunned, Harrell?
No, Harold would definitely ask to Blackwall actually quite bluntly. So is this a power that you have?
A power? What do you mean?
Well, mask your presence.
What do you mean mask my presence?
Well, I'm sorry, I should have led with something else. How long have you been a warden?
A few years.
Huh.
Why do you ask?
I'm relatively new at all this. Have you felt the... Oh, shit, I don't remember what it is. Is it the calling? When they start dreaming about going back to the Darkspawn?
Oh yeah, the calling. You've got a long time if you just became a warden recently. The calling could be anywhere from 20 to 40 years. If you're not killed by Darkspawn first.
I have yet to meet Darkspawn, as a matter of fact. Have you fought many?
A few here and there. But, you know, there's not a lot going on after the Warden stopped the Blight. Very few Darkspawn are seen on the surface.
So it seems. It's more like...
How'd you become?
Oh?
No, I'm just curious. When did you become a warden? Where did you come from? Your accent is Tevinter, correct?
Indeed.
Huh. Didn't know Tevinter brought in elves to the wardens.
It's a rather long story, but I escaped Tevinter. Through the wardens, mostly.
That's good.
I didn't really know what I was getting into at the beginning, hence why I'm glad to see that there's a veteran warden with us, one from whom I can learn the many things that, well, I thought he was good, but that Logain, the person who did the joining for me, he didn't teach me much, apparently. Well, had I known who he was, I would have probably refused.
Logan, that's a name I've not heard in many years. I'm surprised still that the wardens took him, but what's done is done, as I say.
Yeah. How was your joining? Oh, wait, is this something that we don't ask? You are literally the second Grey Warden I meet.
Oh, wouldn't it be third with the person who brought you in?
That was Logain.
Oh, sign a second. We normally don't talk about it with outsiders, but it was rough. I was one of a couple that survived our joining. Now, if someone's not a warden, then it's not a conversation for their ears.
Well, it's a good thing we're several hours behind everyone. Though we should pick up the pace.
We should. It should only take another hour or two to catch up. After all, they weren't that far ahead of you, but why were you just standing around in the courtyard? How'd you get left behind?
Much to my shame, I was disarmed by the Lord Inquisitor.
Disarmed by the Lord Inquisitor?
Emotionally, if you will. Mentally.
That's a new one. Usually just rips people's hearts out.
He said a few words. He has a way with words. And we go way back. Anyway, it's never mind that. So you didn't get any new abilities?
No, why would I get abilities?
Well, it's
What-
just the very first thing that Loghain taught me, and probably the only thing, is that blood calls to blood. And we can sense each other. Like I can sense Darkspawn. And Grey Wardens are part Darkspawn. You, however, I can't sense you at all. Which means either you're not a Grey Warden. In that case, I don't know where you got that armor. Or you know something I don't.
So Blackwell pulls up his horse and stops, and he just looks at you. It's like a real Grey Warden would have shown up. Just screwed up the whole gig. And his hand goes to the hilt of his sword.
Blackwall, or whoever you are, you do not want to do this.
Well, why don't I?
Because you'll be facing an actual Grey Warden.
You, a scrawny elf.
Who actually survived the joining.
His hand is still on the hilt of his sword. It's like, so am I supposed to just let you go in and rat me out?
Or are you going to just freeload the Inquisition?
Not freeloading the Inquisition. I go with them on missions. I earn my keep. My sword has been whetted.
Then why lie about who you are?
I've got my reasons. Look, I don't know you and I don't owe you my life story.
No, you don't. But I don't know
Right.
you, and I don't know what your intentions are towards Fenris or the Inquisition.
Preserving his honor, are we?
Preserving his life, more like.
Don't you think I could have taken his life or anyone else's if I so chose by now?
Then why keep up this charade? Would you have to win by pretending to be something you're not?
Maybe it's keeping my neck from meeting the side of someone's sword or out of a noose. We all do what we need to survive. So he's staring you down, wondering what you're
Mhm.
gonna do.
I have my hand near the handle of my sword as well. Your move, old man.
Old man. I've been fighting before you were even a thought in anyone's eye. So he keeps his hand on the hilt of his sword, And he comes up to you, so he has to like kind of stare you in the eye. So what's the deal? What is it that you want? Was it gold you want? Infamy?
I just wished for a moment I had met an actual Grey Warden. Seems like all the Grey Wardens are nothing but frauds, liars, and thieves.
Well, I hope you didn't have some rose-colored idea of wardens all being noble and wonderful warriors. You know that they pull from their ranks mostly thieves, men destined for the noose. Because nobody wants to be a Grey Warden. They're all conscripted. Very few fools want the glory of wearing the blue and the gray.
Well, perhaps some people believe that the blue and the gray can stand for something.
Maybe some do. Maybe some come to believe it after they survive the joining. That part isn't a lie. You don't really become a warden without surviving it.
Then I'm gonna make you a deal, Blackwall. If that is indeed your name.
It's the name you're getting.
You want to be a Grey Warden so bad. You want to pretend being a Grey Warden. Why don't I make you a Grey Warden?
And how are you going to make me a Grey Warden in the middle of the road?
That is a question I also have, actually.
Are you guys there?
No, just Verisa. Because she's a sneaky bitch. And was mildly concerned that you didn't come with us.
Oh, goddamn. Well, from what I remember, there's a ritual. And, it needs Darkspawn blood. And lyrium. We have lyrium at Skyhold. Let me see if we can't find any Darkspawn on our little trip to Crestwood.
Blackwall gives both of you a searing look because on his own he figured he could probably take Harold, but now there's 2-1. And if I don't take your deal, what then?
Then I give you the time I need to reach Fenris. To leave this place and never come back. Because I cannot protect you from what Fenris will do to you when he learns that you've been masquerading as something you are not.
If I'd not seen the unholy power he wields with my own 2 eyes, I'd be disinclined to accept your offer. Very well. Within a fortnight, I shall attempt to join in. Does that satisfy you?
I hope you survive.
He just gives you that kind of yeah right look. He's like, come on, your friend already caught up with us. We should be on our way. And he just kind of gives Reese a really dirty look, like, nosy woman.
I'll let go of the handle of my sword. Realizing at the same time that, like, Harold's knuckles were probably white from, like, holding clenching onto the sword so much.
He was white knuckling it the whole time.
Probably.
So so Blackwall like goes he goes ahead, but not fast enough where you might think he's trying to run, but he's not happy. And he does kind of look back on occasion to give just both of you dirty looks because he's trapped. It's like accept your deal, take the joining, and see what happens, or get his still beating heart ripped out of his chest by Fenris. Neither's a good option.
Like, after he goes a little bit in front, Varisa will just kind of turn and like half whisper to Harold, it's like, that seems a lot to leave for Lord Fenris. We could just stab him in the back now.
The Inquisition, and even more so the Grey Wardens, need every potential recruit they can get. If he wants to be a warden so bad, I'm gonna give him a chance. If he survives, then we find ourselves with one additional warden.
And if not, there's one less lying human who isn't going to be a threat anymore. I see the advantages here.
Exactly.
You might want to hurry up. Fenris is looking for you.
Oh, he's not my boyfriend all of a sudden. And I accelerate.
I
Well,
was trying to be polite.
I'm guessing you got far enough ahead where you did or did not hear that.
I probably did not hear what Varisa said.
So you all get back, and the party is now together again. And Fenris gives Harold a look, kind of like tilts his head, like, "Is everything okay?"
Oh, yeah, my bad horseshoe. I had to have it replaced. It's okay.
All right.
It took a while.
And I see you found our warden, our other warden. And Fenris is just giving Blackwall a look because he has not forgotten the conversation you had about being able to sense other wardens. So it takes you a couple more hours on horseback to get to Crestwood. How is that trip going? Is anyone having conversations? Are you just kind of quietly traveling along?
Yeah, Mavia is gonna catch up to Bastion and be like, "Hey,
Go.
what you doing?
Looking at trees.
See any cool trees?"
Sure. What you doing?
I'm bored.
You ran out of animals
I mean,
already?
he said that he could ride any animal, so I gave up. I was even making them up, and he was just like, "Yeah, sure." Oh. Like, do you ever talk?
Strong silent type.
It's like I don't know anything about you.
You're not asking me questions.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What is your quest? No. What is how old are you?
Hold on, I have to calculate that.
In what age and what year were you born?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have kids?
No.
Do you have a dog?
Neither.
Do you have any pets?
None.
How long have you been a soldier?
Long time.
Is that your first sword?
My what?
What?
I didn't hear what you said.
What's your horse's name?
My horse's name?
Yeah.
Seamus.
Seamus?
That's what the stable boy told me when he gave me this horse.
Mm.
Oh my
Did you buy the horse? Or you got it for free?
It's provided by the Inquisition.
Okay. What's your favorite drink?
Whiskey.
Do you have any whiskey right now?
I have a little.
Can I have some?
When we get to Crestwood or when we make camp, of course, I'll love to share
How
it
long
with
is
you.
it to Crestwood?
I think it's a few more
Are
hours.
we almost there?
I will defer to one of our more knowledgeable persons traveling with us.
Only Bull or Fenris could really answer that
I
question.
like to think that Bull is like near this whole thing and he's just happy she stopped talking to him.
Bull's just like, okay. Bull just kind of like,
What's your mother's maiden name? Well, I'm sorry. Steven said I was trying to get his bank account security questions, so I figured I might as well.
I think I had that. Hold on.
Oh, you actually had it in your backstory. Oh, man.
I think I did.
Bravo.
Wow.
Yeah, bravo.
All right, I'm gonna roll.
I just wanted Bastian to talk because he's been so quiet.
I know. I'm gonna roll a d8.
Oh, boy.
Everyone,
boy.
give me a number
afraid.
between 1 and 8. No, just give me a number between 1 and 8.
5.
7.
2.
You're
muted, Simon.
3.
Marisa, you're muted.
Salud.
Sorry, I was trying to avoid that. 6.
So Zalanis actually got the number, which is a 2. I don't know if you can read it, but it's a 2.
Mhm.
So Zalanis, you have been listening to this nonstop chatter, and you figure Bastian is the very quiet, soldierly type, and you, out of the goodness of your heart, also mostly because you can tell the poor Bastian is like flustered.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, no one has talked to me this much in my life ever. You go start asking Mavia questions.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because like the elf and the dwarf are like, so what are elves like, or what are
Right.
dwarves like, and you can
Exactly.
give the same treatment.
I'm waiting.
I've never had the chance to speak with a dwarven folk. Tell me, from where do you hail?
Orzammar.
Fascinating. And what did you do there?
The thing.
For yourself in the bath?
No, for money.
Oh.
Or alcohol. Or food.
Was food so scarce that you had to
Let's talk about something else.
Certainly. What shall we talk about?
I don't know.
And just behind my back, I'm just like tipping the back of my staff to try and be like, Bastion, go. Bastion, go.
Flee, Bastion, flee.
I'm urging my horse.
Your
Your hearse, not yet. It wasn't that bad.
Oh god.
I'm urging my horse forward faster.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and catch up with our leader.
Okay.
Oh wow.
What would you like to talk about?
I don't
and
know.
this-
What
this-
do you want to
thi-
talk about?
Stop us at any time. You know this could go on.
This is
Why not?
great.
No, so eventually, like, Fenris has just shut all of you out because he's been so used to this after traveling with Varric and Meryl and Anders and everyone else. He's used to just the banter that will not stop, especially like when Isabella was in the group.
So just
he
wait
has
until
to-
the next leg of the journey when I start quizzing Fenris about what his favorite
Oh,
food
Lord.
is.
Oh.
Oh boy, that's good. Episode 3 going to be real interesting. Because, you know, like, as you are finally getting around the bend, Fenris finally hears all of this chatter as he finally, like, sees the road sign, says, welcome to Crestwood. And when I say welcome to Crestwood, Crestwood looks like it was used in a horror movie and they forgot about it. Because for whatever reason, it perpetually is wet and rainy and muggy in Crestwood, and you're like, where's all this water coming from? And even Fenris is making a face because they had visited Crestwood before and it did not look like this. And he's just like, what happened? We were here before and it was a perfectly okay and dry town. And now there's water everywhere. And he has this very perplexed look. And as people come out of their wet hovels, everyone is perpetually shiny, much like everyone in Dragon Age Inquisition. The mayor of the town greets Fenris, seeing the Inquisition's banner, and is like, Lord Inquisitor, what brings you to our humble town again? And Fenris is about to answer,
Oh no.
but then a rift appears behind the mayor, and that's where we're going to end.
Ah!
I take it that's not good.
No, a rift
No!
is not good. A rift is
Okay.
not good at all.
I was not prepared.
It's right
Kelly-
behind the mayor appears this very complicated RPG from the 80s.
God.
Oh.
Yes, so a rift has appeared, and next week's episode will begin with combat.
Oh
I
shit!
hope you're ready.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's
I
do
can throw
combat.
bacon at them.
Okay.
I mean,
Distraction bacon.
now I need to mod Dragon Age Inquisition to change the caltrop ability of the thief to
bacon.
just have like bacon instead of caltrops.
Okay.
Especially since when you drop your caltrops, they like poof all around you, like you were just like emptying your pockets. You're not throwing them. You're just like. Eh. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you to all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you to all of you who donated, who followed. Thank you so much to you watching on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have fans on the other platform. Let's go around the table. This time we'll do reverse, so counterclockwise. Tell us who you are if you have anything to plug. By the way, Cast, you can put your links in chat freely. So we will begin with our GM. Tanya.
My name's yes. Well, thanks for having me on the channel to run these shenanigans because this is hilarious. I am normally found on Rivals Waterdeep Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/DND. We are resuming on Sunday, April 12th. We are finishing out the season remotely, unfortunately, because safer at home, so we can't go be in the studio together. But we will be back this Sunday, the 12th, so tune in. There'll be more shenanigans. We'll see how this works remotely because we've never done a show like this not in person. And then if you read The Nerdist, actually Rivals Waterdeep was mentioned as one of 6 D&D shows to watch. So go over to Rivals Waterdeep Twitter, which is at Rivals Waterdeep, and we shared the article out. And then next Thursday, I'll be back here to throw everyone to combat and see what happens, because that's going to be hilarious.
All
I love it. I can't wait. Hi, everybody. I'm Eugenio. You can find me on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands. I'm the DM and producer of an actual play podcast called The Last Refuge. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. You can find us on Twitter at DND Last Refuge. Where else can you find me during the week? Not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday will be the finale of a 5-episode Call of Cthulhu arc with the Venture Maidens, GM'd by Celeste Konowich. So you can find me there next Tuesday. No, week after, whatever, you know what I mean. And next weekend, there is the Long Island Tabletop Expo, which obviously is not going to happen now, has decided to do their events virtually so that everyone who's not just Long Islanders can attend. And the podcast and I are going to be there doing a couple of shows with some other D&D folks. So you can check that out at litabletop.com, and all the information is on the top of their webpage.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming as well, Tanya. Next up, Kelly.
Hello. Sorry, the dog keeps trying to eat the rest of my coffee cake. Hi, I'm Kelly. I put my links in chat because, yeah. You can find me on Twitter at the Opera Geek. You can find me on my website, kellybutler.com. I do the singy thing for real, professionally. I'm not quite as annoying in real life, just almost. But yes, so you can catch me here on Thursdays. Sundays and Wednesdays, I am playing Stardew Valley with Devin Rue, cartographer extraordinaire, which is pretty fun. Our friendship is super wholesome. Our language and jokes are not. So feel free to join us on my Twitch, the Opera Geek, at the Opera Geek, well, twitch.tv/the Opera Geek. And next Tuesday, I'll be back here to do more Witcher with Simon, where I misunderstood him and thought my character was like 19, and I burned down a priest in his own church and like hung around to watch him burn. And then he was like, "You realize you were like 13." So yeah, I've got a reputation now. That game is obviously super lighthearted. We welcome you to join, as all Witcher is. Witcher is very lighthearted and full of comedy. Tanya's face. I live for Tanya's face. So yeah, you can find me in those places. Next Thursday, I'm back here.
Thank you for coming, Kelly. Next up, Andrew.
So my name is Andrew. I'm only here, only Thursdays. That's pretty much it. Not very much else to add. But thank you for being here and for participating with us and enjoying the show.
Make a Twitter.
Make a Twitter so we can follow
Come
you.
join us.
You know you're
Join
inviting me to the
us,
dark side,
leave
right?
your friends behind.
The dark side has cookies. It's been confirmed.
I literally have a cookie. Hey, next up, Deirdre.
Hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Dunlin on Twitter, Praxador Thesmiaphores. You see me around Twitch. And as for me, you can. I love this game. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tanya, for putting up with all of our shenanigans. I'm having so much fun with this. I did not realize how actually like snark heavy Barista was gonna be, and then she was, and I was like, damn, this is gonna be fun, y'all.
You and I both leveled up our personalities this week, I gotta tell you.
I originally thought maybe it was going to be a serious character.
We love you, and I love you that you thought that. But as for me, you can find me around tomorrow on my channel on Praxagora Thesmiaphoria. I do live dramatic readings at 11 a.m. Eastern of classical plays, Shakespeare, and others. Tomorrow we are going to continue the hilarity because we are doing my favorite comedy, well, one of my two favorite comedies of all time. We're doing Aristophanes' Lysistrata. And the answer is yes, it is all a sex joke. But it's hilarious and you should come watch it. And then I will be back here for some cyberpunk tomorrow night, where I play a character who is very much not Trins is a very different person from me. She actually is happy and nice and thinks that everyone is a nice person. It's great. She's not at all. It's great. But other than that, check my Twitter because I was supposed where I'm going to be. And I love you all and want to see you and talk to you and engage with you all because you are as much part of the story as we are telling as we are. Thank you.
And before we go, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone again for coming. Thank you to all of you who came to play. Tanya for jamming. Thank you to our sponsors, Mage Hand Press, Green Ronin, Found Familiar, our partners through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. Check them out in the panels down below or the messages in chat. Also, if you're interested and you want to play some D&D during these times of social isolation, I made a cool D&D 5th edition adventure called Fell Deeds in Felfair Grove. You might want to check it out down below. It's got, it's tons of fun. It's about overthrowing a tyrant and restoring peace in a small frontier town by raising the oppressed to a position of power, and you get to choose which like NPC you want to have lead the town and everything. So the town flavor changes according to your choices. It's the first part of a trilogy. I'm currently writing the second part, and the third part will come. The second part will come out probably in April or early May, and then the third part will be this summer. So before we go, let's just raid. I saw that Lauren, Salty Ginger, is DMing a horror game over on Scraticus with some of my friends. So let's just go and rate them and say hi. And we will see you next week. Ciao, everyone.
Bye.